my name's James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. I was reluctant to make this video, but I decided I always share all the data and I think it's important to really understand what's going on in the market. So in this video, I'm going to talk about asking prices have just hit record highs. That's off the back of a drop in house prices with Halifax that we talked about last week, which was sold prices. Now, this is asking prices. This indicates market sentiment. And I think it's important that we get this data because if there's a crash on the horizon and house prices are going to tumble down, it's going to start with the asking prices. So that's why it's important to get all the data out there and make a real opinion ourselves on what the market is doing. Now, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit the bell notification. We're on the way to 41,000 subscribers. I want to get to 50,000 as quickly as we can. And let's get some more views on this video by smashing like, tickling like, doing something to the like button, and then share this video. Maybe you could WhatsApp it, email it, or Facebook message it to someone that needs to know what's going on in the property market. So, as I said, I was reluctant to make this video because I know you guys are going to go off in the comments. Now, some people will have watched this. Some people just get a keyboard warrior inside them as soon as they see the title of the video. So hopefully you've watched the beginning of this and you understand that it is important to know what's going on in the market as a whole. So last week we did a video where we said Halifax have found that sold prices with their data is 0.5 percentage points down in March. But we also had some data the week prior to that where Nationwide said their sold data was break even. And that is where that was. So Rightmove this week have launched their asking price data. And so it's important to look at this because I believe asking prices are where everything starts. It's important to know that these new sellers that are coming to the market, what are their expectations? Are they desperate to sell the property? Because if they are, and you've got a 3-bedroom house for sale, you're going to price your 3-bedroom house for a fast sale. And so you're going to cut a little bit off what everybody else is asking. And that's important to understand. But that isn't what's happening at the moment. There is an influx of sellers at the moment, but also, as you'll see in a second, Rightmove is saying there's actually a lot more buyers in the market suddenly as well. And they have been slowing down recently. So that's good. So they're saying the asking prices at the moment are on average 377,182. That is an all-time high. The last high was in May of 2024 and it was about £5,000 less than that. So it's a big jump and it does show sentiment of the market. That's important. Now, how much is that up since March? So month on month, we are up 1.4%. Now, I know in the comments, people are going to say, well, this happens every single spring. The market gets busier. People start increasing house prices. Activity increases as well. Good, that's true. And that is actually what happens most years. So how does this compare to last year? Well, last year, asking prices in March went up 1.2%. So we've had more of an increase than we had last year as well. So that's interesting to see here. What else is going on? Why are Rightmove seeing this and what do they believe is happening? Well, they believe that the market activity has picked up after the stamp duty going up because of mortgage rates going down. So more buyers in the last few weeks have been coming on because they're seeing sub 4% mortgage rates. This is what happened last summer. Psychologically, under 4% does activate some people. And there are people that can afford to buy, that want to buy, that need to buy, but they just want to sit out and they don't want to buy at these higher interest rates. And so when they see a deal under 4%, that makes them move and take some action. So that has been happening here as well. What about buyers? How many more buyers are there. So buyers are up at the moment. That's interesting because buyers are actually 5% up year on year at the moment. And that's good because buyers had dropped. The first half of this year, we did see a lot of activity, but those transactions started last year, right? So the deals that got completed in January, February, March, they would have been viewings in October, November, December in order for that to happen. But we knew that new inquiries, new mortgage applications, new viewings were down at the beginning of this year. So two things can be true. The market was very busy in the first quarter, but new inquiries were down. Now they're starting to pick up again. As we said, they always pick up in March, April, May. The springtime is a busier time, but it's 5% busier than last year. So this is a positive sign, and that will keep some momentum going. What about sellers? Because that was up a lot as well, wasn't it, recently? Well, sellers at the moment now are up as well. So there's 4% more sellers compared to last year as well. So that is good because it was starting to run away at one stage where we were getting a lot more sellers in the market. But this first quarter, we didn't have lots of new inquiries looking for these deals because people felt that they'd missed out on that stamp duty increase. So all in all, I think this is a fairly positive sign that at least until summer, we will have a fairly stable market. But we don't know for sure. We could have these buyers that are coming into the market feeling with the stamp duty increase that they can negotiate really, really hard in order to push these asking prices down. And it doesn't necessarily convert to sales. So we've got to see how all of this pans out. Mortgage approvals are actually slightly down at the moment. So just because there's lots of people wanting to buy, when they actually go to their broker, are they going to get approved for a mortgage and get that deal done? That is what we've got to look at as well. And we'll look at that data as and when that comes out. But fundamentally, I think the fact this does show is that sellers aren't desperate at the moment. In 2008, when you see people slashing prices, it was because they were desperate, because there was a massive recession, people were losing their jobs, and tenants weren't paying the rent, landlords couldn't afford the properties, residential properties, people couldn't afford those as well, and people needed to sell. So when they came to the market, the asking prices were going down in a downward trend. And the people coming to the market in 2008 that were serious about selling would undercut other people with similar properties. And that's not what we're seeing at the moment. It could happen. I'm not saying it won't happen, but I do think it's going to be slower and longer drawn out than you might think. We've also got all this crazy tariff stuff going on. I mean, it's changed about 4 times over the weekend. Over the weekend, suddenly they said iPhones and laptops weren't going to be having these high tariffs from China. Then, yesterday night, suddenly they were back on. It's bonkers, and no one really understands exactly where everything sits at the moment. But that could cause a recession, that could cause unemployment to rise, and that could cause interest rates to drop, which could move the property market forward as well. So let me know, what do you think about this increase in asking prices by Rightmove? Do comment, even if it's just to say hi. And do check out the fundamentals of property investing. Remember to celebrate the fact that we just hit 40,000 subscribers, which is a huge milestone. Thank you for everyone that does subscribe. We've dropped the fundamentals of property investing down to £20. It's a one-time charge. It will teach you how to find properties, how to renovate properties, all the strategies. It will give you a great overview on those so you can pick what is the right strategy in this type of market. So do grab that for £20 away here. Do smash like. Do check out all the other videos as well on the channel, including this video right here.